Welcome to the True, Good, and Beautiful podcast, where we talk about the true, the good, and the beautiful in different aspects of culture today. I'm your host, Allison and our guest today is Aaron Gibson.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Aaron, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a freshman here at University. I'm studying theology and communications.
Today we were talking about mental health specifically, and the theme is kind of finding true, good, and beautiful through suffering, which is one of the hardest topics because, actually I hear a lot of, when I have conversations with people about God's existence, one of their main arguments is like, well, how can an all-good God allow suffering and pain affect like innocent people, affect the world? So Aaron is going to share a little bit about his story and his testimony with suffering and how he saw God through that. So
So for me, my suffering has been a lot through the mental health side of it. So that's kind of what I'll be focusing on today. And it's affected my life, and now through Christ, like seeing the good in it has been quite important. But it all started like my freshman year of high school. So I had always been homeschooled from like 3rd grade to 8th grade. And so my freshman year of high school, I decided I wanted to go back to school. And so I wanted to like try out going to high school and try to see if I could do it that way. Yeah, so I was excited, but it was not great. My freshman year was not good for me. It was I dated this girl in the beginning of like freshman year, like most people do, like idiots. And so we broke up, and then she started spreading some really, really bad rumors about me, about stuff I did, and it went around the school, and it was it was a small school. It was like 400 total students, so it went around really quickly.
Those private Catholic schools, man.
Yeah, the private Catholic schools. Not good for rumors. But yeah, so it was not good for me. I really felt alone in those moments. I kind of fell away from my faith. I wasn't, like, it was the first time in my life I didn't do something for Lent. I just kind of made up an excuse. And I didn't really do anything for Lent. I wasn't taking my faith seriously. I wasn't necessarily doing anything bad. I just wasn't focusing on God, and I was trying to focus on more fitting in with these people that were making fun of me. And so I really fell into a dark place, and that's kind of I started the mental health journey. It was a really rough year for me. So after that year, I decided to go back to being homeschooled, and I started playing sports and stuff at a local Christian school.
So which sports did you play?
I played football and ran track. So I played wide receiver and like nickel and corner, and in football, and then I sprinted. Well, I did it all in track, but I started out long distance, and then I went to sprinting and pole vaulting. So pole vaulting was my thing that I really liked to do in track.
Wow. But
yeah. So after that, when I transferred to play football there, I had a really good sophomore year of high school. That's probably my best year of high school. I had a really good year football. The coach there was amazing. He really loved me. He really supported me. He showed me what it meant to have like true support from someone in something that I really was passionate about. And so I had a really good year. I had some good friends. We'd go to practice. We'd hang out. We'd go to we did our homeschool co-op together. So I definitely had to have a good sophomore year. But then after that year, my football coach got fired for some things I still don't really understand. Roll around to my junior year, we get a new football coach, and he starts bringing in like different players and like trying to replace people at my position to try to replace me. And so that wasn't. Obviously, I didn't really like that very much, but I worked my tail off. I was getting a lot better, but the thing was, I was always putting my identity in the football and the sport. Yeah. So I was instead of focusing, my faith had gotten a lot better to this point. I was working at my church. I had won awards for my diocese, and so I was definitely involved in my faith, and I was loving Christ. I was doing things for my faith more, but I was still idolizing the sport, idolizing my success, and kind of placing my worth in the sport rather than in Christ. And so when I had a good day of practice, it was a good day for me, but when I had a bad day of practice, it was a bad day for me.
That is such like a common thing. Like, I feel like everyone has something that they place their identity in, and if you lost it, it kind of, like, almost takes away your will to live.
Yeah.
Like, I've known so many, and for athletes, like, if you're a really good athlete and you have, like, this really, like, this talent that God gave you, what the devil does is, like, he uses what's good, and he makes you put your identity in that instead of being a child of God.
Because it's good, but it's obviously not the greatest good, which is God. And so it's a misplaced good because it's out of, like it's just out of order. So when we put something ahead of God, it's never going to be right. It's never going to be good for us because it's just completely out of order.
It's always, exactly.
And then roll around to spring ball, going into my senior year. He just kept bringing in more transfers and more people to try to play the position I was playing when I felt like, and I still felt like I was playing better than the people that he was bringing in. And so it was really hard for me because that's where my worth was lying.
Yeah, so it makes you feel like replaceable.
Yeah. So it was kind of like I just felt like I felt almost disposable. I didn't feel like I was worth anything. So it was really hard for me. And I was just like, I was going through a lot, like physically, like I hurt myself, but then I tried to rush myself back. And so I had a shoulder injury that really like hurt me, honestly, throughout my entire senior year. Because I didn't let it recover quick enough because I tried to get back to practice too quick.
Yeah.
And so there's just stuff like that where, and the coach just he didn't seem to support me. He just was trying to like, I don't know, I just didn't feel loved, I didn't feel supported. So I ended up not playing football my senior year, which was really hard because that just was kind of where I had my identity in since I was 5. Because I played football since I was 5. It was like the one thing I loved, one thing I had, one thing I felt like I had control over in my life was football, how hard I worked at it, how much time I put in, how, like, the effort I put in, the route, like, just whatever it was, like, the amount of time I spent in the gym to get better, it was all under my control and not someone else's. So it was hard for me to kind of put that to the side for the sake of peace and just to try to find that rest in God again.
Yeah.
And not place my worth in that. And so then I went into my senior year, I decided to go full-time track, to go really all in on pole vault team my senior year and try to get really good at it. And so I worked with my dad on that and my track coach, and that was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. It was good for me to see that, to have that support from my track coach and both of my coaches, Coach Allison and Coach Alex.
Coach Allison?
Yeah. Yeah, she was awesome. I loved her.
Cool name.
Still love her. She's amazing. But going into my senior year, it was a rough year for me, especially the November, December parts were quite hard for me. It just, like, there was a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. There was, like, stuff with relationships with people I knew, there was just a lot going on. And so it kind of stockpiled on top of the mental stuff that I was already dealing with, not playing football, trying to figure that out. And so my mental health got really, really bad. I got extremely depressed. And during the month of December, I attempted to kill myself for the first time. And so that was a really rough time for me, because I felt alone. I felt like abandoned by God. I felt, I just felt alone. I felt like nobody understood me. And it was hard because I knew that taking my own life was wrong, but it's like I felt like I just didn't care. Because I was just so miserable that I was like, oh, well, like, it doesn't really, like, I'd rather be like, nothing can be worse than this.
Yeah.
And so that was a really, really, really rough place for me. And especially in a couple weeks, like 2 weeks after that attempt, someone who I was close with in my church who had talked about his mental health killed himself. He committed suicide. And so that was really, really, really rough for me. He had his funeral 2 days before Christmas. And it was hard for me, especially this season, because I worked with him at my church. So I saw him every Sunday at the 5 o'clock mass, and he would always help me out with whatever I needed. And so it was rough for me, especially around the Christmas time, of like him not being there, and like, and especially it was like he was like talking about like, oh, how he got through his mental health, and like I was like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it too. But then one of like the people that like I looked up to about the fact that they got through it didn't.
Yeah.
And so that was really rough.
So this guy who like was struggling with something that you were struggling with too, that you looked up to, you were like, well, like he's got it, he's strong. Like if he can do it, I can do it.
And then he couldn't. So I was like, Yeah, so I was like, if he couldn't do it, I mean, he was a grown man. He was a military. He was a strong man, and like, how if he couldn't do it, how am I supposed to?
Yeah.
And so the next couple months were really, really rough. Like from December to March were probably the worst couple months of my life. And just like I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. I was like miserable. Like it was just like heavy. Like I felt a physical weight on myself every day. And like I just continued to feel abandoned by God. And like I remember going to a retreat, the Diocesan Youth Conference in my diocese, which is always in February. And I just like during the adoration period, I was just like everyone else was like having these moments from God of like, oh like yeah, like I felt God say this to me, like I felt God do this, and it was like, and I'm just sitting there like I felt like I was struggling. I felt like I really, really needed God, and He wasn't there. The one person that was supposed to be there for me, no matter what. The one person that's like, oh, like, yo, God's always got you. That God's always got you, but He didn't. Or so I thought.
And like in front of your face, you're seeing all of these
Yeah.
other people, like seemingly God is with them, and then you're feeling like.
Yeah, and these were like, and some of the people were like it was upsetting for me because I felt like I was doing everything to put myself in a position to hear God, and that I was working 6 hours on a Sunday at church. I was going to youth group. I was working in the diocese. I was praying every day. I've been praying a rosary for like every day for like 4 years, and like
Oh my God.
so like I had been like doing the things that I felt like I needed to be doing, and and I just felt like it was like, oh well, why isn't God? Or why is God giving it to these people who were probably out partying the weekend before when I was at church and like working and like doing these things, and it's like it was like, oh, why them and not me?
Yeah.
And so it was a bit of pride. It was definitely a lot of pride in that moment of like in those moments of like, oh, like I'm thinking I'm better than them, I'm thinking I deserve more than them. And like looking back on it is like how prideful, how ashamed, like how just prideful of me that was to think that like I deserve something over somebody else, because we're all sinners at the end of the day.
That's so true.
Yeah, and so December to March were pretty bad, and then April, May, and like halfway through June I was starting to get better. I was doing better, but I was still struggling with the question of like, why was God putting me through this? Like I wasn't necessarily as down in the dumps. I wasn't suicidal as much. But I was still severely depressed. I was still feeling the weight of like just the weight of it all on me, and like I felt like there were some days where I just couldn't get out of bed, and it was just like it was just physically hard on me, not just mentally hard. And so, but then I ended up going to a camp called Camp Covecrest in Georgia, which it changed my life. Probably one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Wow.
It's up in Tiger, Georgia. It's a life teen camp, and yeah. So I had a conversation there with a missionary who had been struggling with the same mental health issues since middle school. So this guy he was a couple of years older than me, but he's relatively close to my age. He struggled with the same things. He was doing better, and he was there trying to spread that message at Covecrest. And so like my missionary was bunking with him, and so I was able to get in contact with this guy and have a conversation with him. And there were three lessons that I really, really took away from this.
Okay, yeah, please.
From this talk, and so we were just talking. We were like talking about like my story. I told him about the attempts and like how I was doing, and like it was just like I just felt like the weight, and it was just like I just felt like no matter what I did, it wasn't good enough for God, and it wasn't enough for Him to give me what I felt like I needed. And I felt like it was like, God, like I really feel like I really, 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 really need this, but like why aren't you giving it to me? So it's just a constant question of why me, why not? Like, and so he gave me a quote by St. Augustine, which really, really just changed my life, and this was forever kind of my motto now for life, is we must understand now that even though God does not always give us what we want, He always gives us what we need for our salvation.
Oh, I love that one
by St.
too.
Augustine. Yeah. So, and it's just like it's
That
just a reminder that we may think we know what we need, and we're like in the moment, but at the end of the day, we're finite beings.
Yeah, like you're thinking to yourself, like, I can't get out of bed. I need this. Like, God, like, why aren't you giving it? It's like, well, you always, like, God will never put you in a situation where he doesn't give you grace to overcome the situation. And having that faith and knowing that works wonders for your day-to-day life. Just like, and it's a constant reminder, right? Because like we feel a certain way. It's like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can do this. And then logically it's like, no, I can do this. God would not put me in a situation that I couldn't do something. God is always with you.
Yeah,
so that's just such a beautiful quote.
Yeah, and like it's something I always like try to like. I always knew it, but like it was like God won't take you where His grace can't sustain you.
Yeah.
And like it's just like so powerful that it's like just reminding me of like God's more powerful than the evil. Like
God is more powerful than evil.
It's
Yeah.
just something that like I feel like is like Christians and Catholics we kind of stumble into is like we view God and the devil as even. And it's just not at all the case because the devil is a created being by God, and like he is way inferior to Christ, to God. Yeah. And like God's good is 10 million times more powerful than Satan's evil.
Yeah, something cool actually, like in the Bible, God's name, Yahweh, like when God reveals himself, he literally says, I am.
Yeah,
like exactly. I am. He is existence. Yeah, and evil is literally nothing. Evil is just an absence of God.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and that's just it's so beautiful and so comforting.
Yeah, exactly. So like this quote was like, it was a good reminder for me of that fact of like God sees everything because he is obvious, like he's outside of space and time, like he sees it all. He knows what's going to happen. He knows exactly what I need. He knows exactly what you need. He knows exactly what everybody who's watching needs. Like he knows exactly what we need, and his ultimate goal is for us to get to heaven with him.
Yeah.
And so he's going to give us exactly what we need to do that. And I just like I don't know why, but I never like understood that. I always thought like I just was in such a humanistic view of it, of like oh, I know what I need. Like I need this. When it's in reality, it's like God sees it all. He sees the big picture. He knew. Yeah,
God is outside of time. He sees the world. Like he is always present. Like God always knows like what's going to happen, and everything just like exists in his mind, like as it is.
Yeah, it's so crazy to think about because we just can't physically wrap our heads around it. Because we are in space and time, so we think about God in the matters of space and time. So it's impossible for us to literally understand what that even means.
Yeah.
But in the finite understanding of what we can understand, like thinking about it from like just reminding yourself that like God he sees everything. He knew I would be here today. He knew I would come to Ave. He knew the struggles I would have. He knew I would struggle, but he knew I would get through it because he's not going to put me through something I couldn't get through.
Yeah, and the suffering, the world, like, and we were talking about this before, but this is one of my favorite topics of all time, because so often in the world, the entire, like the number one desire of, like, everyone is, like, avoid suffering at all costs.
For sure, yeah.
Like, suffering, anything to do with suffering is bad. Like, you see it, and, like, you see with mental health, too, it's kind of treated like you're having a bad day, like, go see a therapist.
Yeah.
Like, and, like, obviously going to therapy is, like, really, really good, but it's, like, just this push to avoid suffering, like, at all costs, when actually, like, in my experience, and, I'll let you finish your testimony, because you see that at the end of yours, too. It's, like, suffering makes us who we are.
Exactly.
Like, suffering
makes us human.
Yeah, suffering makes us human, and, like, it is in the overcoming of suffering that there is greatness. Like, we can't be great without suffering, and we were created to be great. What was that quote by,
Pope
oh my
Benedict.
gosh. Pope Benedict, that's another, speaking of great quotes, oh my gosh,
Yeah, it's like the world will offer you comfort, but you weren't made for comfort, you were made for greatness.
You were made for greatness.
Yeah, and just like just like when we like think about that, because like God, we are made to be like the ultimate good is heaven. And like that's what we're made for. Like we are made to be with God eternally in heaven, and that's exactly what he wants for us.
Take up your cross and follow me.
Exactly.
Like not take up your pillow and follow me. Like take up your cross, and that will make you great. Without dying, Christ cannot have risen.
Exactly.
Without suffering, you cannot be great.
Yeah.
And so,
And something I've always like the cross wasn't comfortable, so like why should we think we should be? It's like it's just like we have to, if we truly want to be like Christ, if we truly want to like Christians, like our goal is to be like Christ, and Christ suffered, Christ died. We have to pick up our cross and follow him, because we have to enter into our suffering with him. Because without him, without the cross, suffering wouldn't be pointless. Suffering would just be like,
so true.
like there would be no redemptive arc. There would be no purpose to the suffering. But with the view of the cross, we know that suffering brings, like, there can be good brought about by suffering.
Oh yeah,
like
every single time.
Like the most evil action in the history of humankind. Like, we killed the God of the universe.
Yeah.
Like, we literally murdered the God of the universe in the most brutal death anyone has ever suffered.
Yeah.
But yet, through that action, through the most evil thing to ever be done, the greatest thing has ever been brought about.
Yes. And that's always how it is. Like, the greater the suffering, the greater the grace,
exactly.
and the greater the greatness, honestly.
Yeah.
And that is just so beautiful, because it honestly, like, all reflects back to God, because God is all there is. So, like, you do, like you said, killing the God of the universe, like, that's the most evil action, like, ever.
Ever.
Like, ever.
I mean, like, there's nothing worse we could possibly do.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And that is made into the greatest thing that has ever happened for humanity. Like, that was the pinnacle of all of creation, was like, and so any suffering you're going through, like, the worse it is, the greater God can work through it. The greater things can come from it. So it's just so,
no, it's like, and just like the constant of like for me, like, it was always just like I didn't understand. But the thing is like you don't have to understand. Like, you may not now understand, but later you will.
Oh my gosh,
But like later, and it's like it'll all be revealed to us at the end of time. Like, when we're in heaven, like, God willing, one day, the goal obviously is to make heaven with Christ, and like something I talked about with the missionary was like, like God gives us each different purposes here on earth, and like your purpose may not to be like physically happy here on earth, because that just might be a cross that Christ has given you, because he gives everyone a different cross, and your cross may feel heavier, but you'll be 10 times happier in heaven, because everyone, like, the church talks about this of like, there's different levels of understanding God in heaven, of like, everyone has a full cup, but different people have different sizes of cups. So like your like understanding of God, like your joy in heaven, like, there will be different levels to it, and just like the more you embrace the suffering, the more you truly die to yourself every day, the bigger you're making your cup, the more you're making your joy in heaven. And so just like, I just realized, I'm like, like, I'm not made for this world. Like, this world doesn't matter. It's going to pass away. Everything here is finite. Like, no matter how much money you make, no matter how many, like, no matter what you do, like, the world is empty, full of empty promises. Like,
that's so true.
Like, nothing really matters. And like, and it's just like nothing matters except for what you do with a man named Jesus Christ.
That's so true. Yeah, and I'll say this one thing, and then you can get back to your story right after this. But so what you're saying reminds me of like, so my dad, I agree, he's great. He's really, I love my dad. I'm so blessed. But he has these like sayings that just always get on my nerves so much. And like, because I was
all dads do.
Oh yeah, no, it's just a dad thing.
Phrases.
Oh, totally. But I would grow up, and like I was a moody teenage girl. Like, I mean, I'm a teenage girl, so by default, I was just really moody. So, but I would just feel like some days, like, I'd get in the car with him, and I just like, and I just like complain about things, and he'd be like, Allison, happiness is a choice. And I wanted to hit him. Like, I was like, so like, no, like, don't say that to me. Yeah. And I was just so like, oh my gosh, that is just not what I want to hear right now. And and that saying is actually, I've come to realize, true. Like, happiness is a choice, but it's not as simple as just happiness is a choice. And what helped me really realize that and like kind of appreciate that saying even more was World Youth Day when I went to Europe for the first time.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Oh, it was freaking awesome. Yeah. Portugal. Oh my gosh, highly recommend.
My sister and my mom went. They told me so many stories. I was quite jealous.
Oh my gosh, I bet you know Fatima is insane. Have you been?
No, I haven't been to Fatima. I have not. I need to go.
It's so gorgeous. It was so gorgeous. But so anyways, Bishop Aaron gave a talk for World Youth Day. And he said, he was like, you want to be happy? Like, if you want to be happy, the secret to happiness is finding the mission that God put you here to do and doing it. Mm-hmm. That's how you're happy.
Exactly.
Like, you doing your mission. And that is just so, it's just so clear. Like, it's not just like happiness is a choice. Like, it is a choice. Like, I mean, it is. Like, you could choose to do the mission that God gave you. And the things that you're really passionate about and like feel at peace with is a sign that those are the things that God is like calling you to do. Like I remember the happiest I've ever felt is I was at this retreat center leading these kids, like teaching them, and I was just so joyful. Like it wasn't like joy from like going to a party kind of joy. Like it was, or even just like being with friends. Like it was like a deep like wow, like I love these kids. And, like I love like teaching, and it's like just so awesome. And so I just knew, and like and that's what you've got to like, you've got to find something you're passionate about, you're willing to like die for, and like because God gave that to you as a way to like serve Him, and only you have that mission. So find your mission. Go out, find your mission, and do it. But and speaking of mission stories,
I was
continue.
On that note though, I was talking to a Catholic psychologist about like the psychology behind happiness. And it was really interesting the perspective he gave me. He was like, you can't control your emotions, and he was like if I give you $100. Are you going to be happy? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, of course you are, because that's just an emotion. That's your emotion. It's your natural bodily reaction. You can't give you $100 and you can't choose to be angry about that. Like, it's just like your natural emotion is just to be happy. So the thing is not controlling the emotions. And like it's hard to choose happiness. It's almost impossible to choose your emotions. You can't just, emotions are a result of what you do, but you can choose the joy. You can choose to find the good in it. Choose to find the good in the sorrow. Try to find the good in the suffering. And that's when joy comes about. And joy is 10 times better than happiness, because happiness is an emotion, but joy is a fulfillment.
It's so good to differentiate between the two, and that's why like with your mission that you find like there's gonna be hard times. Like kids, okay, I love kids, but they're annoying sometimes. Like you've gotta just like
for sure.
stick with, you've just gotta you know like
and it's not gonna make like just because you give your life to Christ. And this is something that I've always kind of had a problem with. And of people who are like, like when you give your life to Christ, like your life is gonna be amazing, it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be beautiful, it's like unicorns pooping rainbows. And it's just like like especially for me, that wasn't the case. Like I really did give my life to Christ. I was doing the right things, I was loving Him, and like, but my life was still hard. And that's the beauty of it, is like you get to enter into that suffering, but it gives, like, Christ gives you purpose with it. And so the second thing I learned from this conversation was like, and something I already knew, especially from my mom, is that like we aren't called to live for ourselves, we're called to live for others.
It is in giving of oneself that one finds
receives. And like, and so like, so like one of my favorite Bible verses is Luke 6:38. It's the measure you give is the measure you'll get back. And so just like the more we give, the more we give, the more we give. We may not receive again like in this life. Like people may spit in our faces like they did in Christ. They may crucify us like they did with Christ. But we will receive it back tenfold in heaven. And like we obviously are just going to think about in this, like in our limited mind view of humanity, of like, oh, like we're just going to think about it in this world. And it's hard not to, because that's just like the way we think. We can't really we can't grasp eternity. But looking forward to that eternity of just like we are here for others, and like Christ came here for others, so we should be here for others as well. And that's just something that my mom always taught me. Bring joy to others.
When you love, you never lose.
To truly conquer suffering, and it's just to find the true, the good, and the beautiful within it.
Secret to happiness is living each day moment by moment.
The suffering has meaning because of the cross. And like my mom, God bless her soul, she is a saint, but she's put up with a lot. But she, something she has always instilled in us, something she always felt called to do was to adopt, and to adopt, to help those, to take a baby that couldn't be supported.
That is so beautiful.
And so she had this calling since she was a teenager that she felt called to adopt. And so we originally tried through a adoption agency in St. Augustine, called St. Gerard's, who the founder of that is a saint, and that's a story for another day. But she had many visions from Mother Mary, and like to start the house, and like it's just a beautiful woman, absolute saint. But anyways, so so this woman picks us to adopt her children. So she has twins. She's carrying twins, twin boys. And so for me, at I think it was 10 or 11, I had 4 sisters, and I always prayed for brothers. That was like the one thing I prayed from like the age of like since I can remember. That was my prayer to God. It was like, give me a brother, give me a brother, give me a brother,
That's
please.
my brother too.
And like,
yeah,
and like I remember, sorry, Mary Grace, but when it was Polly. When I found out that you were gonna be a boy, I cried. Or when you were gonna be a girl, that I cried. So that's
exactly what happened with my cousin. He had they have 6 kids. He had 4 sisters, okay, and the mom was pregnant, and he got to the hospital and like found out the baby was a girl.
Yeah.
He started bawling.
Yeah,
like
that
he
was
was so sad.
That was me. Yeah. It was quite sad. But no, I love my sister, obviously. But. Yeah, so like, yeah, so, but no, like my mom felt the calling to adopt, and so like I was like, oh, God's answering my prayers. Finally, I get 2 brothers, not just 1, but 2. And I was so stoked that it was like, oh, it's gonna be awesome. And so, yeah, so my mom goes through the process. This woman is a nutcase. She is like on drugs. She's driving without her driver's license. She gets arrested. She is, and so she gets dropped by St. Gerard's, by the adoption center. So, but my mom and her still agree that they want to go through with the adoption. And so my mom is like taking her doctor's appointment. She's visiting her jail. She's paying for her visits, paying for food. She's like helping her get her license back, helping her get her car back, like truly being the hands and feet of Christ, like in the most like just in the purest way, the best way I've ever seen it of any human being ever. And she was just giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And so one of the babies died in the womb, but there was still the other, and so there was still one alive. And so, but Veronica, the mother, she didn't tell her boyfriend that she was planning on adopting the children out to us, and so she didn't call us when she had the child, but the boyfriend called my mom and was like, hey, like I never knew about this. I'm taking the kid. I'm sorry about this. You guys can come meet him and see him in the hospital, but like this was never told to me. I always planned on taking my children. I want to raise my kids. And so my mom obviously is like, yeah, I mean that makes sense, but obviously it hurt her because she had given so much to this woman and truly just like loved her, like, and just was there for her, gave her everything, and got literally nothing in return. Got the rug pulled out from underneath her. And like seeing that was like wow, people can be evil.
Yeah.
But like, and now like looking back on it now that I'm older, it was like, wow, I didn't understand how much my mom truly gave and literally got nothing in return. And like that's how life is going to be sometimes. It's like you're just going to give and give and give, and you're not going to get anything back. And you're going to seem like you're going to get anything back, but you will get it back in heaven. And so it's just like that's the kind of like instillment I always had. But like through the conversation I had, it was just like
the conversation with
the conversation with the missionary was like, it was like you're not here for your own happiness. Like you may not be meant for happiness here, but you have a mission. And he helped me realize that my mission is here to just bring joy to others.
Yeah,
so
you're
like,
made for joy.
Made for joy, and made to like just bring the light of Christ to others, and I just truly love people because life is short.
Yeah.
And give them Christ, give them love, like give them heaven. Like it's just just truly go out there and just like show them what Christian love is, show them what love is, and you know, like it's like you're gonna get hurt by people. People are gonna say things. People aren't gonna understand it. They're not gonna accept it, and it's not gonna always be easy. But like just going out there with a smile, like, and I just was like, you know what? I want to be that smile that I wish I would have had in those days. Like I want to be out there and be like that person that checks up on their friends, and like because like I mean, nobody outside of anybody in my house, even people in my house didn't know because I was so. About the depression because it was so easy to put on a mask and so easy to be the person that's smiling, laughing, and I feel like for men in particular, the people who are the happiest are normally the ones that are struggling the most. And so to those who are watching, check up on like your brothers and sisters in Christ, and just even if you think they're doing okay, just talk to them, ask them how they're doing, like genuinely like sit down and try to understand how they're doing. because that's so important. Having that community and having that support really, really, really helps. Like being here at Ave, like it's really helped me to like see what true community is, and like being able to have like friends that like have my back and like I have their back, and like just like it's not a competition, it's just love.
Yeah.
And like being able to have that is so powerful.
That's so true. And like with the situation you were talking about, like with your mom, with like it seems like she just like poured herself out and got nothing in return. And like that is just, I can't even imagine how heartbreaking that is. Like getting your hope up like for this baby that is going to be yours, and then like realizing you've just been like lied. That's horrible. But like, it just reminds me of like the fact that like when you love, you never lose.
Yeah.
Like you never lose because God is love.
Yeah.
So in choosing God, like, and Jesus was crucified like we were talking about before, but he rose in the end.
Yeah.
Like he rose in the end. It is impossible for you to lose when you choose love ultimately.
Exactly. And there's another quote is by Cardinal Ratzinger, who's obviously became Pope Benedict XVI, but he says, like, freedom done purely for self is hell. And this is in contrast to people who believe that like only like you are truly free as a human being, but the only thing that can impede on your freedom is other people. And so, but obviously that's not true. And the Christian view is like we truly become free when we help others. Because
freedom, like the understanding of freedom where it's like getting to do whatever you want. We talk about this a lot at Ave. Like I'm a theology major, so like we talk about, and like I take ethics and philosophy classes like as part of the curriculum, but we talk a lot about freedom. Yeah. And like freedom, the freedom of like choosing to do whatever you want, you're going to end up enslaved. Yeah. Because what you, like, say someone, I don't know, like, look at pornography, for instance, okay? Like, that's a really good example. It's like, like, you watch, like, pornography, and it's like, like, I'm, like, doing, like, this feels good, this is what I want to do. Like, you become enslaved to pornography. Yeah. Like, you're a slave to something, and it is only in, like, and you'll never, since you were made for Christ, choosing to submit yourself to Christ was when you are the most truly free, because that is what you were made for. And anything else you choose, you're becoming a slave, because like you're choosing something that you were not made for, and it's going to enslave you. So
and like I always like, this is another thing I've heard is like you either get to choose. You get to chain yourself either to Satan, to the world, and it's going to chain you down, and it's like in the sake of freedom of like, but you're just going to be chained down to it. You're going to be enslaved to it. You're going to become enslaved to the weed, enslaved to the drugs, enslaved to the alcohol, enslaved to the partying, enslaved to the pornography, like all these things, like the worldly things that people say, like, oh, go do them because you like freedom. Yeah, freedom. They're fun. I mean, like, and in the moment they may be fun, but they just lead to emptiness, and so you just chain yourself down. But when you train yourself to God, when you train yourself to the things above, when you train yourself to the quote unquote rules of Christianity, that's when you can rise above. Yeah. And you truly just ascend above the enslavement. And so, I mean, you have to chain yourself to something. You have to worship something. And you might as well worship the good. Yeah, we're by nature. Yeah.
No, literally, like, by nature, we're created to worship God.
Yeah, and like there's nothing, like, we physically can't we can't worship nothing. There's something that's going to be number one in our lives. Yeah. Make it God and you'll be fulfilled.
What's that quote? I forget who says it, but it's like, show me where your heart is and I'll show you who you are. And your heart is what you value the most. Exactly. And you can choose what you value the most. Like, you control that. And so, like, if it's money, you worship money. Yeah. Like, your heart is who you are. Yeah, exactly. That's scary. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the third thing, and this is truly probably this is probably the thing I care most about and the thing I want to spread the most in the world, because I think there's not enough of it, especially in the Christian and Catholic movement, is like you can't just merely exist, but you have to live. And like I feel
Can you explain the difference between existing and living?
And so for like existing is just like you just go through your life, you just do the motions, like you just do the steps, like you just go to a job that you don't really like, you just do the things, you do it for the money, you do it just to get by, like you're just existing, like you're not really discerning your purpose. You're just doing what you think you should be doing. Yeah. There's no prayer, there's no discernment in your life, there's no living. Like, you're not taking advantage of every moment, you're not being authentic, you're not being yourself, you're not being who God created you to be, you're not taking advantage of the small moments, you're not taking advantage of community, of nature, of the true, the good, and the beautiful. And it's like there's so much, like, the world is beautiful, I have that is something that I want to do one day, is to be able to go travel and like just be like a van bum and just go travel and go see God through like nature, because like God is truly all around us. He created everything, and he created everything with a purpose and with innate beauty. And especially nature, like that's somewhere that like I just truly feel connected to God.
Wow, it fits where we are.
Yeah, because of like just the beauty of it all, and it's just like it's just God's masterpiece. And like there's cathedrals everywhere for those with eyes to see it, and like the mountains, cathedral, this a cathedral of like this is like truly God's work. Like this just shows his greatness, and like cathedrals are built to show God's greatness, and I mean, nothing shows his greatness more than his creation. Because
God is like the ultimate of beauty itself.
Yeah.
So everything beautiful, like you can look at it and be drawn up to God, and that is what beautiful things were meant to do.
Yeah.
Like to draw your mind, your thoughts, and yourself up to God. And I love what you said about every single moment, because actually this is something that I've had to like remind myself, because it's so, especially with classes.
Yeah.
Like it's like you've got these like 90-minute classes and you're sitting down and you're like, when is this gonna be over? Or like things where you're just bored and you're like, okay, like when can I do the next thing?
Yeah.
But it's like, if you think about it, you will never, ever, ever get that moment back.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So like live every single moment as if it's your last. There's like this quote, it's, oh my gosh, I'm gonna totally butcher it. But someone was it was basically this, like, you know, like an Olympic, or no, a runner, like an Olympic runner, like if you want to know the value of a second, talk to like an Olympic runner.
Talk to Usain Bolt,
Oh my gosh, like you lose by 1 second. Like every single moment counts like so much, and it is in like finding the happiness and joy like in every single moment that you are, that like you are happy, that you are joyful, that you are living as you were meant to be.
Yeah. I mean Usain Bolt, all the Olympic sprinters, they train 4 years every Olympics to run 9 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like they can put that much dedication into 9 seconds, and it's like that's like that gives them purpose, because I mean those seconds really matter, every second matters, and like I feel like as Christians, like we shy away from the YOLO perspective of life, when I think we should embrace it, because I think at the heart of it, it truly is a Christian teaching of like, because we only do live once, and you only get one life. God gives you one life for a reason. You have to make the most of it. You have to live it. Like you can't just passively pass through life, because that's not what God created you to do. Yeah, I love how you talked about the importance of being who God created you to be, because I feel like so many, especially in middle school and like junior high and high school, it's like everyone, and I think you talked about this in the beginning too, but there's such a problem with people like trying to fit in, like always trying to be fit in so that people will like you. And it's like, how can, like, if God makes you as you, and like no one else has the role that you had, and you throw away that role that God gave you to be something else, you're wasting your entire life. Yeah, and like how prideful are we to think that we could be better than who God created us to be? That's true. And like it's just like we're just idiots. Like it's like like at the end of the day, like if you like when I was thinking about it, it's like I look back on it, it's like, yeah, like I was trying to be someone like somebody else than who God created me to be. Is like that's just stupid. Like, why would I do that? Because God is infinitely more knowledgeable to me. He knows everything. He is God. Like, if He created me to be this person, why would I try to be anybody else? Because that's the greatest version of myself. Like, I don't want to look back on my life and have wasted potential. Oh, 100%. I don't want to look back and be like, yo, like I didn't do this thing because I was scared. I didn't ask out the girl. I didn't I didn't go see the mountains. I didn't like at the end of the day, like certain like things matter, but like you can't take the grades too serious. You can't take your job too serious. You can't take the money you make too serious. You can't take life too serious and not enjoy life, because life is meant to be enjoyed. Life is meant to just like, there's too much good in the world to not enjoy life. That's so true. That is so true. And like especially the whole like people acting out of fear, and I've totally fallen into like 100. I'm not saying like everyone else. No, like I know so much, because like this is something that like really resonates with me, because I've like struggled with this. But it's like just tearing yourself to pieces, like and like trying to be a certain way just so people will like you. Like at the end of the day, that does not matter. Like people, like I mean everyone matters to God, but it's God who matters. And like do what God created you to do, be who God created you to be. If other people don't like you, like
is the world gonna like fall down?
Yeah,
like, are you gonna lose? Like, no, it doesn't matter. Like, it does not matter.
And if you're truly who God created you to be, be yourself, and the people who will truly love you for you will find you.
Yeah.
And like,
wait, say that again. Say that again,
like
please.
the people, like if you're truly just who God created you to be, and like you are just truly authentically yourself. Yeah, some people aren't gonna like you. It's just the natural way of life being, and there might be a lot of people that don't like you, but the people who can love you the best, who will love the genuine you, will find you.
And that is worth it.
That's worth it. And it's so much better to have that true, genuine love, and
than a bunch of shallow people being like, oh, they're chill.
Who don't actually know you, who think like they love a version of you. And it's like don't try to be anybody else but who God created you to be. Like, just be yourself, and like because there's only one you. There's only one Allison. There's only one Aaron. Like, there's only like one of each one of you guys that's watching. Like, it's just like there's just such an innate individualism that brought together builds such a strong community.
Yeah.
But we have to be ourselves.
We have to be ourselves.
Because if we're all the same people, like if we're all trying to be the same people, there's no difference, there's no strength, there's no diversity, there's no
beauty.
There's no beauty because everybody's just the same.
Have you ever read The Giver?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, Aaron,
I've read parts of it though. I've read parts of it.
Oh my gosh, like all of these, there's so many books are so great. I should next episode just gonna talk about a book. I'm like double majoring with literature.
Yeah.
Because literature is literally like the human experience.
Yeah.
And thinking about like it's the story of someone's life, and your life is kind of like a book because there's gonna be like suffering.
Yeah.
And there's always like in every great work, there's always like suffering.
Yeah.
There's always like whatever, so that the ending can be so great.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about before. What was I? The Giver.
Yeah.
The Giver. Yes. No, it's so good because it's like this like dystopian, like one of those like dystopian worlds where like everyone's the same and like there's no suffering, there's no like war, everyone just like lives like content, but there's no love either. There's no beauty because everyone is exactly the same. Yeah. And I'm not gonna spoil it, although it's been out for I don't even know how many years. So if you haven't read it, my fault, Aaron. But no, it's so good because it really shows like it's like no like suffering, pain, like all of the things that make you like so miserable actually like play a key role in making life so beautiful, and it is worth it.
Yeah.
And that, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think a movie that points that out for me is Dead Poet Society.
Oh my gosh,
I love that movie, especially like on the topic of mental health. But the one thing, I was talking to one of my good friends about this, who she loves the Dead Poet Society, and like we were talking about the quote of like science, art, science, math, like these are noble professions, but literature, poetry, like that's what makes life worth living. That's what makes it like worth living. It's a storytelling. But like the thing that they were missing, and like we were talking about like the reason why they couldn't find true happiness, and like why at the end of the day, like I don't know, I'm gonna spoil the movie, but at the end of the day, the guy commits suicide when he can't have the art is because he didn't have Christ within it.
Oh
and like having the literature, having the beauty of that, like the beauty of life, you have to have the Christ tangle within it, or it has no purpose. Because then when you can't have that, like when you can't have, like he couldn't have the play, he couldn't have the show that he wanted to do, and he felt like he lost his purpose because he couldn't do what he felt like he wanted to do. And because he didn't have God, he didn't have that foundation, he lost himself. He felt like he didn't have the purpose.
Because if you root, and this goes back to identity too, because if you root your identity in things of this world, when that thing goes away,
it's always going to fail you.
It's always going to fail you because it's all finite. So it fails you, like then there goes your identity. There goes what you were talking about with sports, because that is such like a key theme when you shared your testimony, like of like identity and like finding your identity in things other than Christ. Like I had this this mentor figure once. She was my confirmation leader. And every day we would go into our small group and she would start off with a prayer and she'd be like, "Dear Jesus, wreck our lives. Amen." And I'd be like, whoa, like I did not pray this prayer. Like, please do not do that.
Yeah.
And she said that like the reason she prayed that prayer was because she actually was on the basketball team. And that was her identity, and she was so good. She loved the team, she loved the sport, and she was phenomenal at it. Like God gave her such a natural gift at it. And she got an injury. And it was over.
Yeah.
It was completely over.
Yeah.
And just like that suffering, that like, it's like, oh my gosh, like, who even am I? Like, what if that is where you place your identity? Like, what is the point of living anymore when you lose it?
Exactly.
Like, and it was just so horrible for her. And I feel like God gives you, like, if God ever gives you like a trial that like wrecks what you placed your identity in, that is one of the greatest gifts He can ever give you.
Because your identity, again, like, it should never be misplaced. It needs to be placed in God.
Because she was able to then like build her identity and how it was meant to be, which is like in Christ. And you just become like so much happier, and she couldn't have experienced that without like the suffering of losing.
Exactly.
That.
And just like when we truly live the life, like we just live life to the fullest, you'll never be not satisfied. Like, you'll never, because when you're doing God's will, when you're living life, when you're just in the moment and like not worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, like it's the Master Oogway quote from Kung Fu Panda of like I just love this one. Like, I don't know why I always talk about this quote of like yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why it's called the present. And it's like, it's from Kung Fu Panda, and it's like, it's kind of dumb, but it's like also like really cool, because like I love that movie. It's such a good movie. But yeah, just like the gift it's called the present for a reason. It is truly a gift, and we must like live it like the gift it is, because it's a gift from God, and like there's nothing we can do except take each moment as it's presented to us.
That's so true. What did St. Gianna Beretta, she said, she's one of my favorite saints ever. She said the secret to happiness is living each day moment by moment. Like all of these saints are saying, like the secret to happiness, the secret to life is taking each moment and living it to the YOLO, like you're saying.
Yeah, like just like take advantage of it, man, because like you're not gonna get it back. Yeah. And like just like do what you're created to do what you feel called to. Don't do what anybody else tells you to do. Like, don't, like, just do what you're called to do.
Do what God calls you to do.
Don't care what anybody else says. Don't care what love your parents, but at the end of the day, your parents don't control your life. Like, don't listen, like listen to what God says over everything.
Over everything.
Not your best friend, not your parent, not your mom, not your grandma, not anybody except for God.
Yeah. And it's an adventure that way.
Yeah,
it truly is just like an adventure. Yeah. So Aaron, what would you give, well, first off, are you completely finished?
Yeah, so that's like the story, and I just have like a few things to like wrap up.
Yeah,
and, like,
please, yeah.
Like, I'd say like, just like on the topic of life, of like, too many people, we view life as a race. And like we always talk about life as a race, as something to be completed, as a finish line to cross. Like we just always have to keep going forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. But I think that completely misinterprets what life is supposed to be. And I think it causes a lot of problems with people, because when they're not going forward, they feel like they're doing something wrong. They feel like something's wrong. And like the regression, like the bad moments, like the failures, like they're just viewed as bad, always bad.
Is that kind of like people who always, are you saying like people who always focus on the future?
Yeah, not even that, but just like the analogy of like life's a race. Like don't like I just don't like the analogy.
Like competing with other people.
Yeah, not even just like you're just trying to finish the race. Like you're just trying to get to the finish line, and like you can never take steps back. Like I feel like when we view life as a dance, I feel like life should be viewed more as a dance. Like the steps forward, the steps sideways, the step backwards, they're all there for a purpose, and they're all there for a reason, and they all give life the meaning and the purpose that they have. Because like the step backward, it may be a step backward to take 2 steps forward and then backwards, and go in a circle and like do these things, and like they're all, the steps of life are for a purpose, and we can't just view the bad stuff as just bad, and we should just try to avoid it at all costs, because then we try to get into the comfort of like just always trying to go forward towards the finish line.
Life isn't a race.
Yeah,
it's a dance.
It's a dance, and we just have to like we just have to treat life like a dance and embrace every single step. Because that's what makes it beautiful, because a dance is way more beautiful than a race, in my opinion.
Oh,
like I love
absolutely.
racing, and like I ran track, and like I love it, but like a dance it's art, it's beautiful, and like and every single step has purpose, and like that's what life is.
That reminds me a lot of something I've like thought of before, which like goes back to the whole thing about like suffering and like things like what you're saying about taking steps back. Like to you it looks like you're taking steps back because you're like in the moment, but life, like your life is a series of puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And you have the, like,
You only have the
only
one
the
in your
ability,
hand.
you only have one in your hand. So
Yeah.
you're like, well, why? Like, all I see is, like, blotches of, like, green and black, like,
Yeah.
and it seems meaningless. And when Christ's view of it, and when you die and you look back on your life, you'll see this beautiful puzzle, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's a forest.
Yeah.
Those are, like, leaves to
Yeah,
a tree.
exactly.
Like, oh my gosh, we can't see that now. And we just have
Exactly.
to trust that, like, God has the puzzle.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, any more, like, wrapping
Yeah,
up,
I just like, I
points?
just say, like for me, like, the way to get through suffering, the way to truly conquer suffering, just like, and is just to find the true, the good, and the beautiful within it. And for me, it was finding purpose through Christ, of like, you know what, there's a reason behind it. I may not know it, I'm not gonna understand it in this life, and that's okay. But just knowing that God's got me, and that it's going to be okay in the end. And like it's just like the suffering gave me resilience, it gave me faith, and it gives me a story to tell.
Yeah.
And like it helps me to relate to people who are struggling like I did. And like mental health, it was rough, and it was a rough journey, but I will always forever be grateful for it, and it's not over. And like there's still days that I struggle, but like it's obviously nowhere near as bad as it was, because I have purpose through it. Like Christ gave me the realization that I have purpose because of it, and that again, like the suffering has meaning because of the cross.
Suffering has meaning because of the cross. That is so beautiful. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Yeah,
Aaron.
of
This
course.
has been so
Thank you
much
so
fun. And
much.
thank you
Yeah.
guys so much. Tune in. We'll be releasing an episode every week. God bless you, and thank you.